With so many of you either doing brand photography, portrait photography, or getting asked to do photography, whether it be for work or for your own business, I thought it would be great to bring to you a brand photographer that I trust and respect, as we have a lot of the same values and beliefs around things. So today we will be chatting with Jen Taylor, who is not only a photographer, but a writer, a teacher, and an ex academic. In her photography, Jen really specializes in what's called portraiture for women. She spent the last 2 decades creating portraits that show women the beauty, the power, and the spirit of the girl that they once were. All the stuff that society actually tells us to play down, her portraits really bring up a mirror to her clients. Most of Jen's clients arrive at the studio a little bit overwhelmed at the thought of taking a portrait session that's just for them, not the kids, the partner, the dog, just them on their own. And it can be a little bit nerve-wracking, but they always leave with a wonderful hug and a feeling of elation. I really do hope you enjoy this conversation with Jen as much as I did. Welcome to the Style and Strategy Podcast, where personal brand meets leadership and style. I'm Sonya, a personal brand and style coach who's been exactly where you are, juggling career and business success, personal growth, and finding a style that truly fits. After decades in corporate leadership, I've learned that showing up isn't just about what you do. It's about how you align who you are and how the world sees you. This season, I'm bringing you practical strategies, bold insights, and honest conversations to help you amplify your presence, unlock your next level, and lead with clarity and confidence. Let's dive in. Hi, Jen. Welcome to the Style and Strategy Podcast. I am so thrilled to have you on and be able to chat with you today.
Thanks for having me. It's really great to be here.
Fantastic. Now, I have known you for what I feel is a really long time, and I feel like you've got to know me as well. And when I think I first landed on your website and connected with you, you described yourself as what you do is more than taking pretty pictures. So tell me a little bit more about how you describe yourself and what you actually do.
Yeah, okay. So at its simplest, I describe myself as a portrait photographer who specializes in photographing women. But it's more than just taking pretty pictures. On the surface, that's what it looks like. We do hair and makeup. We teach you how to pose. It's all the pretty fluffy stuff. But there's something much deeper that happens when people come in for a photo shoot. So I think there's something about the experience of being photographed, of being the center of someone's attention, of having someone kind of hold that space for you to be you, that helps reconnect you with something that I think over the years so many of us are taught to or told to push down. Yeah, so I guess as well as the pretty pictures, there's this reconnection that happens, a reuniting with yourself.
And I think like listening to you talk through that, I actually get goosebumps because, I've worked with you on a number of occasions and I won't trust anyone else to really capture what I'm looking for when it comes to pictures and imagery. And imagery is just that, like you say, it's not so much just the pretty pictures, it's the emotion that really gets evoked through it, both for the individual and those that see the images as well. So what do you think is something that people might misunderstand when they hear the term brand photography or portrait photography?
Okay, so there are two things that happen. People either think, oh, I don't need that. If it's brand photography, I don't need that. I'm not a brand. Most of us actually are these days. So there's that. And then there's well, I need millions and millions and millions of photos all the time. So there's kind of these two extremes that happen. Most of us need some kind of portrait photography if we are in business. So, at a minimum, you need something for your profile pic, you know, a LinkedIn photo or something like that. If you're the CEO of a major company that sells widgets that you don't need to be the face of the brand, you could probably get away with just that one, maybe two photos, you know, for the annual report and for your LinkedIn page. But for the rest of us who are running our own businesses, the demand these days for imagery is really high. And you need this range of images that I think sort of 10 or 15 years ago we didn't really need. So there's the headshot, yeah, but then there's all the other images that talk about who you are, what your business is all about, the ones that actually make people feel connected to you.
Mm.
And I think those are the images that a lot of people go, oh, I don't need that. But I
Yeah.
think actually you probably do.
So tell me, I have been seeing more and more across my feeds and around the place sort of brand shoots, and I feel like they're starting to feel a little bit the same, same. So there might be I guess there's a confetti shot. There might be someone on a chair. And I know a chair is a great prop, but they all feel the same. The brand to me, and again, it's the lens I guess I'm looking at it, and you are likely looking at it as well, where I go, but there's something more. I'm sure there's something more behind this surface that we're not really getting to. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's a really valid point, Sonia. We do have this tendency to want to be the same as everyone else and kind of copy what everyone else is doing. It feels safe to do that. But what's with the confetti shot? You'll see people suggesting a list of 10 must have images for your brand. Be like, run a mile if somebody tells you that there's a must have.
Yeah.
If you're a funeral director, for example, you probably don't need that shot. But the thing is, you might. You
Yeah.
might. You know, if you are a funeral director and your whole brand is around celebrating life and this is a party, maybe you do need the confetti out of the hand shot. But the thing is, you don't know unless you actually do the work on who you are as a brand, who your business is, what the vibe, the whole feel of your business is all about. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done before you go anywhere near a camera or a studio to know what the images are that you need. So you need to know who you are, who your business is, what your brand voice is. You need to know who it is you are trying to attract, but also who it is that you would happily repel. Branding is about attract and repel. You know, your branding and your marketing should be pulling towards you the right people and pushing away the people who are not your ideal client. And so you need to think about all of that stuff before you know what it is that you need in terms of imagery.
Yeah.
Then there's all the practical stuff that you need to think about. Where are your images going to end up? Are you trying to populate an entire website? Do you need images that are going to go into print? Are you printing a billboard? You know, do you need images for the header of a website? All of these things change how a photographer is going to work with you and the final products that they send you.
So if you were, we've taken that from a business kind of lens, then because we don't necessarily on the external see it so much, what's your perspective then when you're seeing the corporate headshots come through? Because I guess if I come back to my philosophy, if I'm dressing someone in corporate, but I want to have a punch of their personality, and a punch of their personality doesn't necessarily mean a bold, bright color, right? To me, it's like, who are they? It comes exactly back to the fundamentals in brand, so that when they're in those headshots, even just that little bit that you can see really showcases who they are, whether that's a play on contrast, whether that's, color, whatever that, or muted tones, whatever that is. Curious to know, when you're getting sort of the corporate clients in or anything like that, are you seeing that same sort of, oh, I just want it to look like this? Or are you seeing maybe, I don't know, I've just been sending, I need to get shots?
I see both of those actually. I've been told I need photos. Yeah, so there has been a shift actually since COVID in what people are asking me for. It
Yeah.
used to be the very stiff suited professional look that everybody wanted.
Yeah.
And all of those people are coming back now and saying, I just need to be a bit more relaxed in my imagery. But you're right, there's should be a big difference from one person's headshot to the next. And that's not about the lighting or the posing. It's not about the lens the photographer uses. It's none of that technical stuff. It's about allowing the person's true self to come through.
Yeah.
And some people are comfortable with a big grin and
Yeah.
a laugh, and others are a much quieter, more subdued personality.
Yeah.
And that needs to come through, you know?
Totally. So tell me, why do you think then so many women who actually need photos, whether they're business owners or, even working in corporate, if they need like those headshots, that sort of thing, why do they leave that till last? What's your opinion about that?
Oh, Sonya, why do they leave it till last? It's one of the things that makes my life very difficult. The number of times I get a phone call from someone saying, I'm updating my website and I need to get some new photos done. We go through the whole shebang, who they are, what they do, plan it all out. My next question is, and so what's your time frame on having these photos ready? Oh, my website's launching next week. And, often photographers are booked months in advance. So if you're listening, please contact your photographer early. Why do people do it? I think it's because so many of us feel so uncomfortable
Mm.
in front of a camera. And so we do everything else. We fluff around with all the little bits and bobs and just put off having the photo shoot
Yeah.
until the absolute last minute. And what that does is it means that you're doing it really in a really rushed manner, and you're probably not getting the result that you should be getting for the effort that you're putting in
Yeah.
and for what it's going to cost you. So, book it in. Have some time with your photographer up front. So I'm sure that there's all sorts of planning going on around building your website or whatever it is that you're needing your photos for. Often photographers have got really great input and should be part of that conversation. They can help you think a little bit more broadly about what's possible, what would suit you, because they do that all the time, day in, day out. We deal with images, we deal with people, we deal with businesses all the time. So yeah, please get in touch with us early. And, it's not as big and scary as you think it is. So most of my clients come in telling me that they hate being photographed. They've never seen a photograph of themselves that they like. And they leave usually with a big squeezy hug and, oh my God, that was so much fun. So yeah, it's just, it's a photo. And these days it's digital. And if there are doozies that don't work, nobody ever has to even see those. So, I think it's just a case of getting out of our own way and trusting the experts that you pull in to do the work with you, taking their advice and just, get into it. Let go a little bit, relax and have fun. It's not as big and scary as you think it is.
And so, if you like, I guess, as someone else who is really appreciative of the visual aspects of it, I'd love to hear through your lens Pardon the pun.
Pardon the pun.
When you look through that camera lens and you are working with someone, what are you trying to really draw out? Because for those of you, when you go visit Jen's website or have a look, there's this raw emotion that I see through a lot of the imagery. And I would love to know what you see through that lens, and then what do you do as part of your experience being able to do that, to draw that out, versus someone who is saying, well, I'll just go take it on my iPhone, which is great for some things,
Yep.
but for others, having the experience and that lens of, a consummate professional in that space, what is it that, you really brings to the table?
That's a really good question, and there are several parts to that answer, I think, Sonya. So one of the skills that you need to look for in a photographer, particularly if you're someone that doesn't like being photographed, is look for someone who works with ordinary everyday people. So there are a lot of photographers who do fashion shoots and they work with models. Now, models are models for a reason.
Yep.
They have incredibly beautiful faces that are hard. It's hard to take a bad photo of a model. It's hard to light them badly. It's hard to pose them badly. And so photographers who work with models all the time don't necessarily know how to help someone who is not a model know what to do in front of the camera. So a big part of my job is showing my clients what it is that they need to do in order to create the images that we create. So when you look at my website, a lot of people talk to me about my website and go, oh, your photos just look so natural.
Yeah.
And I always double check that they're looking at the right website. There is actually a lot of work that goes into making them look that natural. So these photos where people are looking styled and relaxed and gorgeous, there's all sorts of stuff happening outside of frame that you don't necessarily see. And so my job is getting all that outside of frame stuff happening that allows you in front of my camera to be you. Now, what is it that I'm looking for? I'm looking for you. So I can see when you give me a fake smile. I can see when you're in a position but you look not quite relaxed. One of the things that I bring to that is that I'm also a trained yoga teacher. So a photo shoot is an awful lot like doing yoga. It's the same kind of principle. I put you in an awkward position and then I ask you to relax.
Yeah.
So it's very much like that ability to see when there is unnecessary tension being held somewhere in your body. I want that to go, and I will work with you until we get that gone so that the real you can come through. And it's the real you that makes you so valuable and so beautiful, even if it's imperfect. The real imperfection, that perfect imperfection that we all have.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for. I want that to shine because that's what people respond to.
Oh, love that, Jen. It's so aligned to a lot of my philosophies as well. And it probably explains why we get along so well.
Yeah, I think we speak the same language, Sonia.
Oh, totally. So can you take me through what's your 80-20 sort of preparation then you've got someone called you up, ready to kind of work with you. What's that preparation like for you?
Yeah. So we will go through absolutely everything before you book in for your shoot. If you're coming in for a branding shoot, then and you haven't done any branding work, we'll start right back there. Yeah. Talking about the colors of your brand, the fonts, the tone, the voice, all of that kind of stuff. But even for just a personal shoot, just because I want to update, I need some beautiful photos. I haven't had any done for ages. One of those kinds of shoots. There's still this kind of be 80% prepared and 20% loose. So bring in a few different outfits that we'll talk about beforehand, about what to bring, the shapes and clothes, the colors, all of that kind of stuff, all the work that you do. We talk through all of that and we get everything as planned and prepared as we can. So that's the 80%. The 20% that's left over is the stuff that we can do on the fly. You know, the unusual combination that, so people that come in that haven't been with someone like you, a stylist beforehand, will bring in outfits and I'll often combine things in a way that they normally wouldn't.
Yeah.
And so I do sometimes have people leave the studio and say, "Oh, it's like I've got a whole new wardrobe." Because I'm putting things together that I normally wouldn't do. You know, we get stuck in a rut.
Totally.
So there's that kind of thing, but there's also we will shoot a particular outfit or shoot a particular pose, and then we'll stop and have a chat, and people will let go a little bit. That's the 20. It's
Yeah.
those little bits that I want to capture as well. So I will very quickly pick up my camera again and capture those on the fly moments. And they're often the things that turn out to be the images people love the most.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And so if I can ask a question that maybe you wouldn't maybe expect me to ask, what's your take now when you're saying there's a lot of talk around AI and there's a lot of talk around AI imagery and things like that? I've got views on it, but I'm keen to know from your perspective, where do you think that maybe plays a role or not?
Mhm.
Versus, the bespoke work that, and I think the depth that brand portrait photographer can bring still.
There is a use for AI. I do use AI in my own business from time to time, and I find it helpful. It is not the be all and end all when it comes to personal brand images. So, AI is not the be all and end all when it comes to personal brand images. And I had someone talk to me the other day and showed me her photo that she's using now on LinkedIn that is an AI generated image. And it was an absolutely stunningly beautiful photo. It was gorgeous, but it wasn't her.
Yeah.
So the face shape was changed, you know,
Yeah.
it looked like a model. It looked like
Yeah.
sort of almost that everyman, you know, that it could have been anyone sort of
Yeah.
thing. So you have to be very careful. And if you are going to have a go at an AI generated photo, test it with some people before you start using it, please. Make sure that people go, "Oh yeah, that's definitely you and it looks great." So
Yeah.
ask someone who's going to give you a really honest opinion that doesn't have to make you feel good, that doesn't have any skin in the game, you know, that's just going to give you a good honest opinion about it, I think would be the way to go.
And I think there's like this element as well around you using that kind of imagery. You have to put somewhere it's an AI image. Like you get it, like I don't know. To me, it's like a little disclaimer to go make sure people know that's not really me. That's an AI generated version of me. That's I guess that's my ex corporate hat and compliance angle coming from it.
Yeah, so from a compliance point of view, yes, you really do need to label things as AI generated if they are.
Yeah.
And it's a very frustrating thing in the world of photography when people bring in source images. You know, they'll come for a shoot and they'll say, "Oh, I want something like this. Can you do something like that?" And I
Yeah.
look at it and I go, "Well, no, you know, hair doesn't do that in real life. Fabric doesn't do that. Clothes don't do that in real life. You know, this is an AI generated thing."
Oh my goodness. I can't believe you're getting that.
Oh, we get it all the time. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So then can you share with me maybe a story or a client experience where a brand shoot, you really felt like at the end of it, it transformed more than just the visuals?
Yes, we get that all the time. The hardest thing is picking just
Just
one.
one.
Yeah. I get most of my clients really don't wanna be photographed, and that's the women. The men hate it even
Yeah,
more.
I'm
So,
sure.
most of my male clients tell me they'd rather have root canal therapy than come and be photographed. transforming more than just the visual image happens a lot. I think
Yeah.
one of the things that having really great imagery does for you as a business owner is it gives you confidence. And this is the same as the work that you do, Sonya. It's all about kind of the inside being reflected on the outside and the outside influencing the inside.
Yeah.
When you have really good, solid professional images that you can be proud of to represent you online, this is where we see them most of the time these
Yeah.
days, it changes how you feel about yourself and your business. You suddenly start treating yourself as a proper businesswoman,
Yeah.
as a real grown-up in the business world. When you start taking yourself seriously like that,
Yeah.
these images that present you well, you live up to that, I think. And it's the same with the work that you do, Sonya, with when, you know, how you look at how people are turning up, their intention behind what it is they're throwing on in clothes and accessories and how they're styling themselves. It affects how you enter a room.
Yeah. Completely.
Photography does that as well. Having really great photos for your brand does that too. And I sometimes say that, you know, there's always that person on Instagram that you follow that you really love to follow, but you're somehow just a little bit envious of.
Yeah, because their brand shoots are beautiful.
Having your own brand shoot makes you feel like her.
Love
Yeah.
that. And so, if there was something you could teach my audience in terms of one lens or unexpected thing to do to help them show up better with more confidence on camera, what would that be?
To show up with more confidence on camera. You know, when we're being photographed, we all get a little bit stiff and we have the photo smile.
Yes, we've seen a lot of those in the corporate leadership space.
Yeah. So when that happens, when you feel that, my biggest tip, no matter who you're working with as your photographer, is just ask for a minute, close your eyes, take a big breath in, and breathe out through your mouth. And then open your eyes and look down the barrel of the lens. And suddenly there's you there. You've let go. Something shifts in that. And I have to do that. You know, I'm in studios, I'm around cameras all the time. I'm used to being photographed. I'm used to working with images. And I still have to do that when I'm being photographed. I have to do that little, just give me a minute, close my eyes, reset, go again.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that, you know, and a good photographer will give you that time. It only takes a few seconds.
I love that. I think it just really helps individuals to ground themselves in that moment. And it's just such a tiny thing to do that it doesn't matter actually what moment it is. It's a really useful piece of advice around that.
Exactly. It's not just being photographed, is it? You know, before you go into a meeting, before you deal with the argument your children are having, before you have the difficult conversation with your parents, you know, whatever it is, close your eyes, take a breath.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me, Jen, if people want to find out more about you and find out like more around the kind of imagery you do, that sort of thing, where should they be going to?
I would love you to stop by my website, which is vividity.com.au. So that's the noun from vivid. I'm a bit of a word nerd. So it's vivid with ITY on the end. Vividity.com.au is the best place to find my work. And then I'm most active on Instagram, and I've got 3 different places there. But if you look up Vividity_photography on Instagram, that's where you'll find me. And there are links there to my other Instagram pages, galleries, and there's also a link tree there where you can get to all sorts of other things from my bio on Instagram.
Amazing. I will make sure that all those details are in the show notes. Now, before I let you go, I always ask my guests 3 questions, and they don't know what the questions are beforehand.
Here we go.
So you might have already got the answer to this one, but what is your favorite mindset ritual that you potentially use the most regularly just to reset you and get you back on track? And maybe it was the one earlier, but is there another one?
Yeah, so it is the one from earlier. So that take a breath, just take a moment and let go. I have a friend also that reminds me and a lot of other people, you're not that special. And it works for me really well. You're not that special, Jen. It just helps remind me that I'm the same as you. I'm the same as everyone else that I meet. I'm just a human being with struggles, strengths, weaknesses, and that there's nothing special about me that makes me any better or any worse than anyone else that I meet. And so, it's an absolute privilege to be alive and to share this life with each other.
Mm,
Let's just stop being so self-focused
yeah.
and just get out of your own way and get out of everybody else's way as well, and just realize that we're all in this together. A little kindness goes a long way. So yeah, you're not that special.
I think that one there is pretty good for when you're feeling stressed about something that may not be quite that big, but in your mind you're thinking it is, and then you throw out, I'm not that special for it to really matter that much, actually.
Yeah, it's kind of, it's not the sort of self-help phrase that you would expect, I don't think.
So
I personally find it really, really helpful just to remind myself that I'm the same as everyone else. So, if I'm going in to photograph someone who's very high up in the business world or in whatever field it is they're in, they've got an OAM or whatever it is,
yeah,
that can be quite intimidating.
definitely. So you throw out, I'm not that special.
Well, yeah, I'm just here doing a job and they're really no different to me. I'm not that special, but they're just a person as well. So
Yeah.
those things, times when you find something's intimidating, I think just reminding they're just people. They're just people. And so I go into situations like that where, I'm surrounded by people who are really powerful in what they do. If I remind myself that they're just people and I am just here to serve them with my photography skills,
Yeah.
and I'm here to help them enjoy it as much as they possibly can, then things go much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, love it. That's something new to add to the toolkit. And then I think you'll definitely have one for this as a ex-academic. Favorite book that has inspired you and or you're reading right now that you really love?
Wow. Okay. This is a really old book. It's a book I think I've probably bought about 20 or more copies to give to people. So this is one that is special when you do
Yeah.
that. It's called Kitchen Table Wisdom. I don't know whether it's still in
Oh,
print
wow.
or Kitchen Table Wisdom. It's written by a woman called Rachel Naomi Remen, I think is her name. I'd have to double check that.
Yeah.
She's a medical doctor. She has a very strong Jewish faith, and she works a lot with people who have life-threatening, life-changing conditions. And it's a book that made me laugh, made me cry bucket loads. And it's all about those little things. In a way, it's also you're not that special. She talks about all the things that we all struggle with.
Yeah.
She writes with such gentle clarity that it's a book that I go back to again and again and again.
Oh, okay. That sounds amazing. I will definitely do some research. And then, of course, you wouldn't be on the Style and Strategy podcast if I didn't ask you, What's your favorite outfit that most represents your brand and why?
I love being comfortable. I have to be able to move. So I am usually in jeans or trousers, a nice top, and a jacket.
Yeah.
Yep. I am notoriously bad for not changing earrings. So if you come for a shoot with me, and you bring in earrings, I always give my clients the job of saying, "Jen, should I change my earrings?" Because I'm dreadful with keeping up with all of those kinds of things. Too busy doing my. But yeah, so comfy jeans, trousers, a nice top, and a jacket.
Love it. Well, thank you very much, Jen, for being on the Style and Strategy podcast. I've loved having this little chat with you. And as I said before, if anyone wants to get in touch with Jen or find out more, please refer to the show notes, and that'll be all the details down there.
Thanks very much, Sonia. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you.